Available now. Link below.
In a stunning display of judicial overreach, El Paso Magistrate Judge Humberto Acosta has single-handedly undermined the very fabric of our nation's border security by ordering the release of illegal immigrants who violently stormed the U.S. Mexico border and clashed with National Guard troops. Judge Acosta sent a clear message to the world. America's borders are open, and our laws are meaningless. This shocking decision not only puts the safety of our brave men and women in uniform at risk, but also encourages further lawlessness and chaos at our southern border. As the Biden administration continues to turn a blind eye to the growing crisis, it falls upon the shoulders of concerned citizens and true patriots to demand accountability and change. In this special report, we'll peel back the layers of this outrageous ruling and expose the dangerous consequences of unchecked illegal immigration. You don't want to miss my final thought. And just as Jim Acosta's decision to release illegal border crossers undermines our national security, our reliance on foreign nickel threatens our economic independence. The U.S. currently imports every pound of nickel we use primarily from Indonesia, where environmentally damaging mining practices are funded by China. So this leaves us vulnerable to supply disruptions and price fluctuations. However, companies like Alaska Energy Metals are working to develop domestic nickel deposits using responsible mining practices. With the largest nickel deposit in the U.S. and a clear path to production, Alaska Energy Metals is poised to help secure America's critical metals independence. So to learn more and support this vital effort, visit alaskaenergymetals.com or simply tap more below this video. Now let's get back to our special report. In a shocking display of disregard for our nation's sovereignty and security, El Paso Magistrate Judge Humberto Acosta, he ordered the release of illegal immigrants who participated in a violent clash with National Guard troops at the U.S. Mexico border on March 21st. The incident, described as a border riot, saw hundreds of migrants, primarily from Venezuela, overwhelm security measures and storm past the border fence. Now, the Gateway Pundit had previously reported on the chaotic scene that unfolded on that fateful day. Illegal aliens from Africa, Central America, Colombia, and Venezuela made a brazen rush for the border in El Paso, Texas, after pushing past concertina wire in the middle of the night. Now, the group, estimated to be around 600 strong, then confronted the National Guard troops tasked with defending our border. If you don't remember this moment, we'll show it to you now. Unbelievable what we're witnessing here. Absolute pandemonium and chaos. Now, of course, this happened in late March, but this type of activity happens all the time now. Cameras just happen to catch it on camera. Thanks to the New York Post for being there. Wow. And thankfully, there was another border wall right there. Now, in a stunning lack of preparedness, Judge Acosta criticized the El Paso District Attorney's Office for not being ready to hold individual detention hearings for the accused rioters. Rather than upholding the law and ensuring the safety of our brave men and women in uniform, Acosta chose to release all riot participation cases on their own recognizance. So this decision is a slap in the face to the National Guard members who put their lives on the line to protect our border. And during the riot, several soldiers stationed near Gate 32, they did require medical attention for minor injuries and were taken to a local hospital for treatment. The New York Post, as you saw, reported that National Guard personnel seized knives and makeshift weapons from the rioters, and one illegal even attempted to seize a firearm from a soldier. It's clear that Judge Acosta's ruling has set a dangerous precedent. By releasing these individuals without consequence, he's effectively given a green light to future illegal border crossers, emboldening them to use violence and force to enter our country unlawfully. This not only puts our lives, the lives of our border security and forces at risk, but it also undermines the very foundation of our legal system itself. Here's more.
New information about a surge of people trying to cross the border. An El Paso magistrate judge ordered the release of people accused of assaulting National Guard troops during a so-called border riot.
Now, the judge, Humberto Acosta, said the El Paso District Attorney's Office was not ready for the detention hearings of each person. Now, the DA charged hundreds of people trying to cross the border with riot participation. A couple of weeks ago, they broke through a razor wire fence in El Paso. Remember, we showed you video in hopes of surrendering to U.S. Border Patrol for processing. Now, they face up to 180 days in jail, a fine of up to $2,000. The judge rejected the DA's request to postpone the hearings. The DA said this was unexpected. On Facebook, he wrote, quote, "I want to emphasize that the state of Texas was in fact prepared to address each and every case on a case-by-case basis at a bond hearing. And it is patently untrue to say that the district attorney's office was unprepared for the hearings."
Well, the NPR station in the area reports that public defenders in El Paso disagree. And now they worry about the status of the asylum seekers' release. El Paso's sheriff's office says some of the people have been released to Immigration, Customs and Enforcement, but ICE has not made a statement about their whereabouts. And it comes as Texas's Senate Bill 4 is headed back to the courtroom. The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals plans to hear arguments on Texas's appeal on the controversial immigration law tomorrow. It would allow local and state police to arrest anyone suspected of crossing the border illegally. It briefly went into effect for a few hours last month before the court ordered a temporary pause.
Now, the Biden administration's lax approach to border security has only exacerbated the crisis. In January alone, crossings at the southwest land border in Texas total 68,260. That's according to U.S. Customs and Border Protection data that we know of. While this marked a decrease from the staggering 149,000 migrants who entered in December, it still represents one of the highest rates in the country. Republican Texas Governor Greg Abbott and other GOP officials have been working tirelessly to implement stricter immigration laws to address the ongoing surge. These laws aim to facilitate the arrest, detainment, and removal of suspected illegal immigrants. However, their efforts are being met with legal challenges and resistance from those who prioritize open borders over the safety and security of American citizens. Now, the contrast between the current administration's border policies and those of former President Donald Trump couldn't be more apparent. During his time in office, Trump made border security and immigration reform a top priority, recognizing the critical importance of secure border for both our nation's sovereignty and the safety of its people. So as he gears up to retake the White House in 2024, Trump's promise to restore law and order at our southern border resonates more than ever with Americans who have grown weary of scenes like this at the border. Chaos and lawlessness have become all too common. So it's time for the American people to demand accountability from our leaders. We can't stand idly by as activist judges like Humberto Acosta undermine our laws and put the lives of our brave border security forces at risk. We must call upon the Biden administration to take decisive action to secure our borders and enforce our immigration laws and protect the sovereignty of our great nation. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. It's time for my final thought. Now, the decision by Humberto Acosta to release the illegal immigrants who violently stormed our border is a travesty of justice that threatens the very foundation of our republic. It's a reminder that the Biden administration's failure to secure our borders has emboldened those who seek to enter our country unlawfully, putting the lives of our brave border security forces at risk. We can't allow activist judges and weak leadership to erode our nation's sovereignty and the rule of law. It's time for the American people to demand change, to elect leaders who will prioritize the safety and security of our citizens above all else. The 2024 election for the President of the United States looms on the horizon, and the choice couldn't be clearer. We must stand united in our resolve to restore order, enforce our laws, and protect the integrity of our borders for the sake of our children and our nation's future.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.